All glory and honor and praise given to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Makar Kadash. Double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teaching us this 100% truth. Shalom and salutation to the whole elect, beginning with 144,000 and the rest of the men, women, and children of the great multitude of the elect. I'm your brother Magun Shalamar of the GMS Plain Tables Camp here in Philly. The title of this video will be Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi is going to punish the fruit of the stout heart of the king of Assyria. And we know Assyria is dealing with the spiritual America. This place is going to be destroyed. And so we're going to begin this video, which is fair use, not for monetary gain, but for educational purpose only, fair use.
Israel is losing the public opinion battle in the United States of America. It is a simple and obvious fact. Donald Trump has said that publicly. It's a simple and obvious fact.
Why do you think that is?
Why is Israel losing? Why is Israel losing American public opinion?
Well, the narrative is that Israel has a very disproportionate effect on American politics.
Yeah, I see that. I see that narrative. I mean, I actually think that they look. Do they try to influence American politics? Yes. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's a country of 9 million people. We have 330 million people. And so, of course, they're going to try to persuade Americans. They're going to try to move Americans in one direction or another. I think that's just the nature of the beast.
But it's more than that. The concern is that they're spying on American politicians, that there's concerns about funding, there's concerns about influence, there's concerns about whether or not politicians are, whether they're aligned with Israel or whether they're aligned with the United States first.
Israel is.
This is Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. Therefore hear the counsel of Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, that he hath taken against Edom. Edom is so-called white man in his kingdom, and his purposes that he had purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And the least of the flock is talking about Amalek. The Amalek is the so-called small hats over in the land of Israel. They are the international banker families, which are small hats, beginning with the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Murdochs, DuPonts, Oppenheimers, and so on. They're the ones who are the international banking family. They're the ones who have America in their back pocket, and all the politicians and all the other countries as well. That's how the other nations have gotten rich through America, is through the international banking families. So that's why the whole world is going to come under the New World Order, which is that micro C-HIP, the MOTB, because that's the New World Order of these small hats. And the least of the flock, Amalek, Israel, has drawn America into this war, in World War III, which is beginning stages with Iran. And that's because the Lord Yahawah is going to bring down the kingdom of Edom. And the Lord Yahawashi is going to set up his kingdom here on earth. So this is the beginning. So let's get Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 24. It says, man's goings are of the Lord Yahawah. How can a man then understand his own way? So you heard the two Edomites on the video speaking as if they are in charge of what's going on, why Americans are turning their back on Israel and this and that and so forth. But in reality, that's the Lord is bringing that split in Americans, because this place is going to become a civil war within the lands. There's going to be martial law. So it's going to be a whole bunch of things going on here in America pertaining to 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 16th chapter. So you starting to see this uprising between the governments here in America. You see, also on the world, you see the wars start. You see, so all of this is all the plans of the Lord. It's not of man's going, but it's the Lord's going. It's His way. This Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9, it says, a man's heart deviseth his way, but Yahawah directed his steps. So Nero's steps is being directed by Yahawah. All of these leaders in this world, their steps is being directed by Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, because this is the end of this world, Esau's kingdom, and this is what we're seeing, the way it's being played out here on earth, the downfall of Esau's kingdom and the judgment for America. It says, verse 21, it says, the earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof were heard in the Red Sea. And that earth is being moved because why? You're going to see them ICBM missiles coming down and rocking this place to and fro. As pertaining to Isaiah chapter 24, the 24th chapter. This earth is going to be moved to and fro because over there in the Red Sea, over there in the Levant region, it's going to be, Israel is going to be destroyed. But it's going to be built up as well as America. You see? And that's why it says in verse 20 at the end, it says, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Both Israel and this place, Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed, become desolation, going to become desolate. But Israel is going to be rebuilt for our sake, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indian. Verse 22 says, behold, he shall come up and fly as an eagle and spread his wings over Basra. Basra is America spiritually. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pains. When Yahawashi returns, all these strong men's military might of Basra is they're gonna melt, man. When they see Yahawashi's chariot crack the sky. You know, the fathership spoken of by Ezra, prophet Ezra, was so huge you couldn't see the beginning or the end of it. And then he's gonna have hundreds and thousands, 200,000, thousands of his chariots that the angels are gonna be in. So this is gonna make these men, these great men, mighty men, heart melt and pains like a woman. They're gonna be crying like a woman, man, when they see this. And it's gonna be destruction, judgment for this place. We're gonna go to Isaiah and Tim, read this in NLT. Start at verse 12. It says, after the Lord has used the king of Israel, Assyria, Salaki, after Yahawah has used the king of Assyria, which Assyria is talking about spiritually. Assyria is spiritually America, because America is known by many names spiritually. Assyria, Egypt, Sodom and Gomorrah, daughter of Babylon, the great city of Babylon. It's known by many names. Basra. It says, after Yahawah has used the king of Assyria to accomplish his purpose on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, because why? We was brought here in America for punishment because we disobeyed Yahawah's laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why we are here. That's why we was being punished. And it said after he's finished using this whipping, using Esau as his whipping stick, he will turn against the king of Assyria and punish him, for he is a proud and arrogant. You see that? So once he's finished using you, so-called white man, Esau, Edom, beginning with the top banking families, you have no use for him no more. He's going to turn around and punish you. You see? It said he boasts, by my powerful arm have I done this. With my own shrewd wisdom I planned it. I have broken down the defense of nations and carried off their treasures. I have knocked down their kings like bulls. See, that's what Esau is, a very proud man. And see, he think he done it, but we just read that a man's going is of the Lord. You see, the Lord uses this devil for his whipping stick. It says, verse 14, it says, I have robbed their nests of riches and gathered up kingdoms as a farmer's gathered eggs. No one can even flap a wing against me or utter a peep of protest. He said, but can, and this is what the Lord says, but can the axe boast greater power than the person who uses it? Is the saw greater than the person who saws? Can a rod strike unless a hand moves it? Can a wooden handle, can a wooden cane walk by itself? Therefore, Yahawah, the Lord Yahawah, the heaven's army, will send a plague among Assyria proud troops, and a flaming fire will consume it. And that's what we read in Jeremiah 49. Because after the MOTB comes out, that's the main prophecy we're waiting on now, is that MOTB, the RFID chip, to come upon the whole world. Once that takes place, and this third world war is going to kick off, this devil is already coming down with much wrath, but you're going to really see his horns come out once the MOTB come out. You see? And this place is going to be destroyed, and Yahawashi is going to come right in the midst of that war and destroy the spiritual Assyria in 1 hour. It says, verse 17, and Yahawah, the light of Israel, will be a fire. The Holy One will be a flame. He will devour the thorns and briars with fire, burning up the enemy in a single night, in 1 hour, man. This place is going to be done with, man. It's going to come in that lake of fire. By who? By Yahawashi. The Lord is going to, Yahawah is going to send his only begotten son to destroy this place in 1 hour. And when he destroy America, guess what? That's the head, that's the queen that sits on the back of the beast that control the whole the Edomites government here on earth. So once the head goes down, then the rest are gonna fall. That's gonna be done and over with Esau's rise in his kingdom. It says Yahawah will consume Assyria's glory like a fire consumes a forest and a fruitful land. It will waste away like sick people in a plague. Of all that glorious forest, only a few trees will survive, so few that a child could count them. See that? So this place is done, man. So, you know, they can sit, you know, Esau's, they can all get together and chat about it and try to come up with some reasoning and powwow and counsel and try to figure out how we can slow this thing down and figure a way out of this mess that Nero got us in. There's no way out, man. Only thing we're waiting on you to do is just push the button. Just go ahead and push the button, Esau. Go ahead and get it on with this RFID chip, you know. So I pray that you was edified. Call Allah Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Makah, HaKadash. Again, double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom.